Hello students, hope you all are fine and safe at home. So you might be hearing me for the first time. So let me introduce myself to you. I'm Mrs. Sananya Yuvraj. I'm going to handle computer science for you people. Okay? So in your 9th standard computer science subject, you're going to study about the programming language called Python. Okay? So full the portions is about Python. Okay, so what is Python? While hearing the name, you might think that Python is a snake, is it? So yeah, in our computer language, Python it's a powerful high level object oriented programming language. Okay, see here, Python is a object oriented programming language. Okay, so what is object oriented programming language? You might have heard about C++ and all that, is it? Yes, object oriented language is nothing but it's a programming language based on the concepts of objects. From the name itself you'll be able to know, is it? Object oriented programming language is based on the concepts of objects which can contain data and code. Okay, it contains data in the form of fields and code in the form of procedures. Okay, so Python is a powerful high level object oriented programming language. Okay, so who developed Python? It was created by Guido van Rossum. Okay, see here, look at this picture. So he is the founder of Python programming language. So how Python got its name? So see here, Python it's not named after the snake. Rather its creator Van Rossum named it after the Monty Python's Flying Circus, a BBC comedy series from the 1970s, an English TV show of which he is a huge fan. So, as you know, Python is a snake. The author has not named it after the snake. Our founder is a very huge fan of the TV show. Okay, Python's Flying Circus, which is nothing but a BBC comedy show, English TV show. Okay, he is a huge fan, so that he has named his programming language as Python. Clear, children? So let us see what are the prerequisites to learn Python. What do you mean by prerequisites? It is nothing but a thing that is required as a prior condition for something else to happen or exist. Okay, so what does it mean? It is the skill that you need to learn about something. It is the prior condition or skill you need to learn about some new thing. Okay, so here to learn Python you should have a basic understanding of computer programming terminologies. Okay, so a basic understanding of any of the programming languages is a plus. This is about prerequisites of Python. Okay, so next we'll see the features of Python programming language. So what are the features of Python? See, the first point is it is easy to learn. Okay, Python has few keywords, simple structure and a clearly defined syntax. What is syntax? Syntax means it is the structure of statements in a computer language. Okay, the statements are defined in a structure which is otherwise called as syntax. Okay, every program has its own syntax. Okay, so this Python language has very few keywords. Okay, that will be easier for us to understand. It has simple structure and a clearly defined syntax. Okay, so the next point is it is easy to read. Python code is more clearly defined and visible to the eyes. Okay, it is easy for us to read the language. And third point is portable. Python can run on a wide variety of hardware platforms and has the same interface on all platforms. What do you mean by interface? Interface means it's nothing but like it's a shared boundary. Okay, it's a shared boundary across which two or more separate components of a computer system exchange information. Okay, what do you mean by interface? It's a shared boundary through which we can exchange information to one or more separate components. Okay, this exchange can be between either software or computer hardware, peripheral devices, humans, or combinations of all these. Okay, so Python can run on a wide variety of hardware platforms. It has the same interface to work with all the other platforms. Okay, next point is GUI programming. What do you mean by GUI? GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. Okay, so what is GUI? It's a form of user interface, okay, that allows users to interact with electronic devices. Okay, so through graphical icons. Okay, graphical user interface, it's a form of user interface which allows us to interact with the computer or electronic devices. Okay, see this point. Python supports graphical user interface applications that can be created and ported to many system calls, libraries, and Windows systems such as Windows, Macintosh, and the X Windows system of Unix. So this Python language supports various GUI applications which can be created and shifted to many system calls, libraries, and Windows systems. Okay, so it supports functional and structured programming methods as well as object oriented programming. So Python supports functional and structured programming methods as well as for object oriented programming language. It can be used as a scripting language. Okay, so it can be used for building large applications. It can be easily integrated with C, C++, and Java. As I told you earlier, C, C++ or the other programming languages. Okay, so this is about the features of Python. Easy to learn, easy to read, portable, GUI programming. So it supports functional and structured programs. It's used as a scripting language. It can be used for building larger applications. Okay, it can be easily integrated with the other languages such as C, C++, and Java. Okay, so can we learn Python easily? Yes, because the syntax of the language is clean and the length of the code is relatively short when compared to other programming languages. Okay, you can learn Python easily because the syntax. What is syntax? Syntax is nothing but the structure of statements in a computer language. Okay, so the syntax of the Python is very clean and the length of the code, the length of the program is very short when compared to other. It is also fun to work in Python because it allows us to think about the problem rather than focusing on the syntax. Okay, we need not focus more on the syntax of the program, that what we are going to which operations we are going to perform, that we need not concentrate on more, but it allows us to think about the problem. Okay, so that we can learn Python easily. So what can you do with Python? Why do we code in Python? Python is a general purpose language. You can use Python to create a wide range of applications. Okay, so some of the applications are listed below. Web development, example Django and Bottle. Scientific and mathematical computing, example Orange, SIMPy, and NumPy. Okay, desktop graphical user interfaces, example Pyjam and Panda 3D. What are the examples? These are the softwares, okay, which is developed for the listed applications. So Python is used, okay, as a language, as a computer language, to put up in the applications like web development. We are going to develop the web using Django and Bottle software. Likewise, we can perform scientific and mathematical computing using these softwares Orange, SIMPy, and NumPy. Okay, likewise we can use as a desktop graphical user interface, example Pyjam and Panda 3D. So this is about learning about Python. Okay, so let us start this programming language. Okay, so let us see how to start with Python. Okay, just click on the start button, programs, Python 3.6, idle Python 3.6. So you can see the below Python window. See, this is your Python window. Okay. See, after start programs Python 3.6, this window will appear. Okay, the 4 lines will be default. Okay, this window will appear. Okay children, understood? So let's see the basic syntax of Python. Okay, what is syntax? As I told you already, it is the structure of statements in a computer language. Okay, so how do we use syntax in Python? Programming in Python is fun. It's easier to understand and write Python code. Why? The syntax feels natural. Take this source code for an example. So let's say for an example, here is the program, okay, which defines a, b, sum as a variables. Okay, see this program. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, sum is equal to a plus b, print sum. See what it has given. Even if you have never programmed before, you can easily guess that this program adds two numbers and prints the result. Isn't it children? See what it has given here. A equal to 2, b equal to 3, sum is equal to a plus b. So we are going to add these two numbers stored in the variables. A, b and sum are the three variables, whereas 2, 3 and a plus b are the values stored in these three variables. So we are going to add these two numbers and print the sum. What is sum? A plus b. Adding these two numbers gives the result, okay, which is sum. Okay, understood the syntax? It is very simple, right? See, so let us see one example. Type the following text at the Python prompt and press the enter key. Print hello Python. See here, we have written print hello Python, isn't it? So see here, print hello Python, we have written this. So in our program output screen, here it is showing hello Python. Okay, so next we'll see the other one. Click on the file menu and choose new file. After starting Python, so you'll be getting this window. Okay, default you'll be getting this window. So after we are going to perform this operation, addition operation using these three variables. Then we are going to print hello Python. Okay, so to start the program, click on the file menu and choose new file. So we are going to start a new program, okay, in Python. So here we are going to write code. Okay, we are going to write program for addition. So what you are going to do after starting Python, just click file, okay, and choose a new file. See here, you will be able to see, right? See file, then choose new option is here, no? Control plus N. So click on the file menu and choose new file. Then you are going to type the program. Here the program section starts. See, add two numbers. Number 1 is equal to 3, num2 is equal to 5, sum equal to num1 plus num2, print sum. This is the very simplest program. Okay, so number 1 is the variable. Here you are going to store the value as 3. Here number 2 is the variable. Here you are going to store the value as 5. So in the sum variable, you are going to add number 1 plus number 2 variable. Then after performing this operation, you are going to print the sum, which is addition of number 1 and number 2. So to see the result, you have to run the program using the run menu and choosing run module option or press F5. After typing this program, to see the output, you need to run the program. How to run the program? Just choose the run module. See here, you will be able to see, no, run. It is the run module, or simply you can press F5 from the keyboard. It is a shortcut form for running the program. Okay, so see here, this is your program. What you have written, add two numbers, num1 equal to 3, num2 equal to 5, sum equal to num1 plus num2, print sum. This is a program. Then after typing the program, you are required to choose run module F5. So okay, the result will be displayed on a new window, Python shell. This window is called Python shell. What is the result? 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, right? So this 8 alone will be printed. So what is the result? 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, right? So this 8 alone will be presented in a new window called Python shell. It is the output. Okay, so unlike traditional programming languages, it's not necessary to define the type of a variable in Python. Every variable in Python is an object. Also, it's not necessary to add semicolon at the end of the statement. In other languages and all, you might have no, right? To terminate the statement, you need to put a semicolon. Computer language, which means it denotes the ending of the statement. So whereas in Python, it is not necessary to add semicolon at the end of the statement. Okay, so it's not necessary to define the type of the variable. What does it mean? Here number 1, number 2 and some other variables. So we did not mention the type of the variable we are using. Here num1, num2 are the integers, right? We did not mention that in Python. Okay. So see this programming terminologies explanation for the above example. Let's see this program in detail, line by line. Okay. How this program works. See, the syntax for print statement is print, open bracket, okay, quotation, double quotation, statement or message to be printed within double quotes or print variable. So how this program works? What is the line 1? Add two numbers. Okay, it denotes with hash. What is hash? Any line starts with hash in Python program is a comment. We are going to give comment to the program. Okay, so here what is the command? Add two numbers. See, commands are used in programming to describe the purpose of the code. Why do we use commands? To define the purpose, what we are going to perform. We are going to write the code. That purpose is defined by a factor called command, which starts with hash. This helps you as well as other programmers to understand the intent of the code. Commands are completely ignored by compilers and interpreters. What do you mean by compilers and interpreters? These are the programs which helps convert the high level language, that is the source code, into machine codes which is understandable by the computers. We are writing programs in high level language, isn't it? So that is required to be converted into machine understandable language, machine codes. So this will be done by compilers and interpreters. So these commands are ignored by compilers and interpreters while running the program. Okay, so this is the first line. So what is the second line? Number 1 is equal to 3. What it denotes? See, number 1 is a variable. So you can store a value in a variable, isn't it? So here we are going to 3. This 3 in a variable, number 1 variable. So line 3 is number 2 is equal to 5. Similarly, number 2 is a variable where here we are going to enter 5 as a value in number 2 variable. Okay, what is the fourth line? Sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, the variables number 1 and number 2 are added using plus operator. The result of addition is then stored in another variable called sum. Here sum is also a variable which is going to store the value by using the addition operation done with the variables number 1 and number 2. 3 plus 5 is equal to 8, which is going to be stored in sum. Okay, the next line 5 is print within the brackets sum. Here are going to print the output. So the print function prints the output on the screen. In our case, it prints 8 on the screen. Okay, understood, children? So this is about the program. Okay, So next we'll be seeing variable. What is a variable? Here in our previous example, number 1, number 2 and some of the variables, right? So when we create a program, we often like to store values so that it can be used later. Yes, so when we create a program, we need to save it for future usage, right? So we use objects to capture data and manipulate the data captured by providing information. What do you mean by manipulate? Do you have any idea? Manipulate is nothing but any modification that we make to text, image, sound, video and other data. Okay, the modification that we are going to do is called manipulation in computing language. Okay, so here we use objects to capture data and modify the data, okay, by providing information. So every object will contain the following properties, these three properties, okay: identity, type and value. What is identity? Identity means identity is its address in the memory and does not get changed once it is created. See this, once identity is created, we can never change the identity. What is identity? It is the way how it is going to stored in the memory address. Okay, so identity of the object is the way how it is going to stored in the memory. It does not get changed once it is created. Okay children, so we may know it by typing its identity. It's nothing but variable. So what is type? The set of values and allowable operations on those values. For example, data type, it denotes data type. Okay, type is nothing but a set of values and operations that we are going to perform on the program. It's otherwise called as data type. Okay, what is value? It's any number, letter or string. To bind value to variable, we use the assignment operator equal to. So in the example, number 1 is the variable, right? So 3 is the value which is going to assign to the variable number 1. To bind value to variable, we are going to use assignment operator. See, number 1 is equal to 3. So equal to is the assignment operator. Okay, what is data type? It defines the type of value the object holds. Data type is nothing but the type of value which is going to be entered into the variable. Okay, see the data types: number, sequence, set and mapping. So integer, float and boolean comes under the number data type. Okay, string, list and tuple comes under the sequence data type, whereas dictionary comes under the mapping field. Okay, so let's see this in detail. Okay, what is number? Number data type stores numerical values. From the name itself you could able to understand, right? Number data type stores only numerical values. Numerical means what? Integer. To store whole numbers. Whole numbers means decimal digits without any fraction part. Okay, only decimal digits it's going to store integer value, whereas float it stores the fraction part. In fraction part means 3 by 4, 5 by 3 likewise. Okay, whereas integer stores only whole numbers. So next, what is sequence? Sequence means it is an ordered collection of items indexed by positive integers. It's a combination of values that may change and values that may not change. Sequence is a list of combination of values which may change or may not change. Okay, so it's a ordered collection of items. So what we have seen, string, list and tuple comes under sequence, isn't it? So string, what is string? It's an ordered sequence of letters or characters. They are enclosed in quotes. So this string will be represented in quotes. Okay, so list, it's a sequence of values of any type. Values in the list are called elements or items. Okay, what is tuple? It's a sequence of values of any type indexed by integers. Okay, so tuples are non-changeable. We cannot change the tuple once it is written. Okay, they are enclosed in brackets. So string is enclosed in quotes, whereas tuple is enclosed in brackets, okay, open and close brackets. Whereas list is a sequence of values of any type. List values in the list are called elements or items. So what is set? So it is a unordered collection of values of any type with no duplicate entries. Okay, sequence is a ordered collection of items, whereas set is a unordered collection of values. Okay, children, understood? So what is mapping? This data type is unordered and mutable. Okay, dictionaries falls under mapping. So what is dictionary? It can store any number of Python objects. So what they store are key value pairs which are accessed using keys. Dictionary is enclosed in curly brackets. Okay, see here, dictionaries are enclosed like this. Okay, curly brackets. Okay, children. So this is about the data types: number, sequence, set and mapping. Integer, float or integer, float comes under the number data type, whereas string, list and tuple comes under sequence data type. So set is an unordered collection of values. Mapping is unordered and mutable. Okay, dictionaries comes under mapping, which is represented in curly brackets. Okay, what is number? It's an integer. So to define an integer, use the following syntax. Type the following code in a new file. In this example, myInt is a variable which stores an integer or number. Let's consider this example syntax. MyInt is equal to 3. Integer is nothing but numbers. Okay, so here you're going to print MyInt. In MyInt variable, what it has given, the value is 3. So here we are going to simply print MyInt, means 3. Run the program to see the result. See this result window, output window. After running, it is going to print the myInt variable which contains a value 3. Clear, children? So it shows how to run the program in integer type. Okay, next is floating point number. What is floating point number? It has the fraction part, as I told you already. To define a floating point number, you may use one of the following notations. See here, type the following code in the new file. My float, here in this example, my float is a variable. Here it is going to store fractional point number 3.3. Here you are going to print my float. You can also represent this my float as equal to float within the bracket 4.4. You can use either 3.3 or float within the bracket 4.4. In these two ways you can use the my float data type. Okay, print my float. So here it is going to represent 3.3 and 4.4, which is assigned as a value in my float variable. Is it clear, children? Okay, so let's see about strings. Strings are defined either within single quotes or double quotes. As I told you already, strings are enclosed within quotes. Okay, see here, my string is equal to hello. It is mentioned in quotes, single quotes. Okay, so here you are going to print my string. Okay, so we can also represent my string is equal to within double quotes. Hello, I am Python string variable. Here you are going to print my string. So see here the result window or output window, what it is written here, hello, and the other line is hello, I am Python string variable. We can represent either in single quotes or double quotes. What is the difference means, if you use any apostrophe means we should use only double quotes, because if you use single quotes for the text which contains apostrophe, see here, hello, I am is it contains apostrophe, right? So if you use apostrophe, you should use only double quotes, because if you use single quotes, it terminates the string. So if you use apostrophe, you need to use double quotes. Okay, this is the only difference between the single quotes and the double quotes. Okay, clear, children? So this is the example. Okay, try the following program and write the result along with the observations. 1 is equal to 2, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 1 plus 2, print 3. So here what is the output? This is your homework part. Okay, just take your classwork note, okay, and write this program. Under this, put the answer as heading and type the output, and write the result and submit, okay, and come and submit in the school. So I'll be correcting. See, 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 1 plus 2. So you are going to print 3 variable. In 3 what it is given? Addition 1 plus 2, that you are going to print. Okay, then hello is equal to hello, world is equal to world. Hello world is, this part I'll be explaining in other class. Okay, so you write only this print 3. See, until this part you write in your classwork. Okay, this 4 lines, and write the output. Okay, and in the classwork and come and submit in the school. Okay, let me teach this string. This is about string, hello statement. I'll be explaining this in the next class. Okay, so this is about today's class. So let me have a quick recap. Okay, so what is Python? It's a powerful high-level object-oriented programming language. Who developed Python? Guido van Rossum. Okay, see, he's the founder. So how does it got its name? The founder has mentioned the name Python after his Python's Flying Circus TV show, which he's a huge fan. So what are the prerequisites needed for Python? You should have a basic understanding of computer programming terminologies. Okay, so what are the features? Easy to learn, easy to read, portable. We can use GUI programming. It supports function and structure programming methods. It can be used as a scripting language. We can use Python for building large applications. It can be easily integrated with other languages like C++ and Java. Okay, so we can learn Python easily since the length of the code is very short and the syntax is very simple. Okay, Python allows us to think about the problem rather than focusing on the syntax. Okay, so Python is a general purpose language where we can use it for wide range of applications like web development, scientific and mathematical computing, desktop graphical user interface. How do we start Python? Start button, programs, Python 3.6. This is how your window, okay, will look like after opening Python. So the basic syntax is a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, sum is equal to a plus b, print within the bracket sum. So it is going to print the result 5. Okay, so here click on the file menu, then choose new file, then you are going to type the program, following program. Okay, so this is your output window. Output will be printed in a new window called Python shell. Okay, so unlike other programming language, we did not put up a semicolon at the end of the statement in Python. Also, we need not define the type of the variable what we are going to use. Okay, so the syntax for the print statement is print statement or message to be printed within double quotes or print variable. Okay, so this is the explanation for the above program. So what is variable? So when we create a program, we need to store it for future purpose. So variable contains 3 sections called identity, type and value. So these are the data types. Number, sequence, sets and mapping are the 4 data types. Number is the it can store only numerical values, integer and float. Okay, whereas sequence contains string, list and tuple. Set is unordered collection of values. Mapping is unordered and mutable. It contains dictionaries. Okay, see this program, it represents the integer data type. Here it represents the floating data type. Okay, so string should always contain single quotes or double quotes. Okay, so the difference between single quotes and double quotes is that apostrophe is not included in single quotes. Okay, it would terminate the string if we use apostrophe in single quotes. So we should always use apostrophe statements in double quotes. Okay, so this is your classwork part. You're going to write this program until these 4 lines. You're going to draw the output window, then write the result 1 plus 2 3. You're going to write the result as 3. Okay, so this is about today's class, children. So in next class we'll be seeing the remaining portions of this chapter, introduction to Python. Okay, all of you get your book and have a glance. Okay children, yeah, thank you.